name is Genesis Almanza, and I am a student at the University of Houston downtown. And I chose The Girl Who Heard Colors because I think that the students would really learn about their five senses with this book. I also really like the illustration that this book has because I feel like the illustrations helps the student know what each sense is and what each sense will help them do. And I think that the students will really enjoy the story that is in this book, as well as the illustrations that go along with it. Today, we'll be reading The Girl Who Heard Colors by Mary Harris, illustrated by Vanessa Brantley Newton. Jillian loved the world with all her five senses. She loved the tickling touch of her bunny's whiskers on her cheek. She loved the taste of warm maple syrup on waffles. She loved the smell of wet grass. She loved the sight of wild geese flying across the blue sky. And she loved the sound of their honking. Honk, 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 honk. But what she loved most of all was seeing the colors of everything she heard. When she heard a dog barking, she saw bright red. Woof, woof. When she rang the bell on her bike, she saw silver. Ding. The wind in the pine trees blew soft gray. The rain sang light purple. Soon, Jillian was old enough to go to school. She loved school with all her five senses. She loved the cool, slippery feel of the floor and the tart taste of her apple at snack time. She loved the smell of markers when her teacher wrote on the whiteboard. And still, she saw the colors of everything she heard. The sound of the school bell was as orange as a pumpkin. Ring! Her teacher's voice was as green as a frog. Recess! At recess, the children sounded as golden brown as the leaves on the trees. Then one day, something strange happened. A lunchbox dropped on the floor and everything in it fell out with a loud clatter. What was that? Asked the teacher. Yellow, Jillian replied. The children stopped what they were doing and looked at her. Yellow? Exploded lunchbox is yellow? They began to laugh at Jillian. Jillian felt sad with all her five senses. She felt the warm tears on her cheeks. She tasted the salt of her tears on her tongue. She smelled the spilled grape juice. The children laughed harder and harder. When she heard their laughter, she saw inky black. Her teacher was worried, so she told Jillian's parents. Jillian's parents were worried, so they took her to the doctor. The doctor examined her eyes and ears. There was nothing wrong with them. Whatever could be wrong with Jillian, everyone wondered. Jillian whispered softly to herself, I am as sad as a cloud. Then came music day. The musician opened his bag of instruments. He handed out tambourines and cymbals, tin whistles and cowbells, and maracas and drums. The children took turns playing all the instruments. Except Jillian, she covered her ears and squeezed her eyes shut. What's the matter? Asked the children. What's the matter? Asked her teacher. What's the matter? Asked the musician. And Julian said, I am hearing too many colors at once. Hearing colors, the children exclaimed. What do you mean? When I hear sounds, I see colors, Julian told them. Me too, said the musician excitedly. When I hear sounds, I see colors too. In fact, lots of people have a very special extra sense. It even has a name of its own, synesthesia. When Julian heard the musician say that word, she saw every shade of blue. She began to smile. Then the musician smiled, her teacher smiled, and all the children smiled. Julian loved the world again with all her 5 senses, and her special extra one too. The end.